Today we're going to be working on this OG Xbox, something a little bit different for the channel, but it's something that I want to get more into, that along with GPU repairs and other stuff as well. But basically I bought this on eBay. I paid £18 plus postage for this, so if we just take a look at the listing here, I paid £23 in total. And that was including eBay's buyer protection fee, which is just a scam and another way for eBay to get the seller fees. They claim that the selling is free on eBay these days, but it's really not, because it gets passed on to the buyer. eBay are scammers. But anyway, I purchased this item, as you can see, on the 7th of March. It is now the 15th of March, so it's been a week. I've had it a couple of days, but I just haven't got round to having a look at it. But it just says faulty spares and repairs, read description. And if we just take a look at the description, vintage pre-owned condition, few marks but nothing drastic, sadly not working, has the flashing amber ring issue. Good for parts or to fix a mod. Well, guess what? It doesn't have the flashing ring issue. As you'll see here, it turns on. And another thing as well, it does actually display. So I've got this loaded up on the camera app because for some reason it's not working on OBS with the capture card. So I've got a USB capture card which converts the yellow RCA cable or video cable, I don't know what the hell people call it, converts the video cable to USB, and then I can obviously use that on the PC. As you can see here, this is working absolutely fine. I haven't tried the disk drive because I don't think I have a test disk, but that doesn't really matter because we're going to be doing a couple of mods to this console. So if we take a look at this, the issue that I'm finding with this, if I just unplug this and then plug it back in, it fires straight up without me pressing anything, and it doesn't matter if I press on the power button, it doesn't turn it off. So I can press and hold on the power button for as long as I want, really, and it just doesn't turn it off at all. So it's just not shutting off whatsoever. So the front panel's got a little bit of an issue. The disk drive button does work, although I do have to give it a bit of a tap to actually get it to open. So that's obviously an issue, but like I said, there's going to be a couple of mods which I'm going to do to this, which I'll get into in a minute. But if you are new to the channel, my name's Hakko. I'm an electronics technician. I mainly work on games consoles, but I do work on other stuff as well. So if that's the sort of stuff you're into, be sure to get subscribed and turn on the bell notifications. That way you don't miss any future videos. And if you do want to organise a repair, whether it be on one of these OG Xboxes, whether it be on a new Xbox, or whether it be on anything else, get in touch at www.hakko.repair, and I'll do my best to get back to you and give you a quote for the job. So with that being said, let's get into today's video, but not before I tell you about today's sponsor, PCBWay. Today's video is sponsored by PCBWay. Whether you've got a simple project that requires a quick mod board, or you want to launch your own products to the world, PCBWay can help. With fantastic pricing on multi-layer PCBs, flex ribbons, 3D printing, and even laser cutting solutions, you're sure to find everything you'll need all in one place. Custom PCBs start from just $5 for a 1 to 2 layer board with a fast 24-hour build time and free shipping on orders over $30. PCBWay also offer aluminium PCBs starting at just $120 per square meter. Check out what PCBWay have to offer by clicking on the top link in the video description or in the top pinned comment and get your project started today. Thanks again to PCBWay for sponsoring the channel. Now let's get back to the video. Alright, with the shilling out of the way, let's get on to this. So, like I said, it's got an issue with the front panel, but this front panel I'm going to actually replace, and I'm going to mod the console to go with it. So, yeah, let's get this apart. So, like I said, it does work, and the disk drive appears to be working, although, you know, it needs a new ribbon, I'm assuming. But yeah, not a bad price. I mean, it's in decent condition. It needs some replacement feet, but I can sort that out at another time. But it's not in bad condition for the age of it and stuff. Like I said, I haven't worked on many of these, but I've worked on a few. So what I'm going to be doing to this, first and foremost, I'm going to be upgrading the RAM. So the original Xbox comes with 64 megabytes of RAM, which, well, I mean, it's enough for the games and stuff, but we want more than that. So I'm going to be putting 128 meg in this. So I'm going to add 64 meg, sorry. And also I'm going to install a mod chip to this, so as we can obviously, you know, play ISOs and stuff with legal content only that we legally own. And I'm also going to be putting a front panel on this with an LCD screen. So yeah, it should be fun. But we also need to upgrade the hard drive because these hard drives suck. So yeah, let's first off start by getting this all apart, shall we? So this disk drive does need to be refurbished. So what I'll probably do is replace the belts in this, test it, and then, you know, resell it because they are hard to come by. So I'll probably resell the disk drive. That'll probably fetch more than the cost of the actual device, the actual console. And it also looks like we need to recap this. So this cap here is expanded. This cap here is expanded. This one's expanded, and this one's expanded. They've all started to leak. So these are going to need recapping. So yeah, we're going to have to do a few things to this. The power supply is probably fine. So we're going to leave that for now. I'm just going to unplug these cables. It could very well be that the front panel's not working because of these caps here. I'm not sure. But it does look like it's going to need to be recapped anyway. So I'll just get this board out. And we are good to go there. I can clean all of that out later. I'll just blast it with some air. I don't really want to be messing around the power supply. These are very high powered and very dangerous if you touch them. So I don't really want to mess with the power supply if I can help it. So I'll deal with the rest of that later on. But for now, we're going to be working on the motherboard. So what I'm going to do is probably struggle to remove these heat sinks because, well, it's an original Xbox, and yeah, Sean Paul would be proud of how much these stick to it like glue. So yeah, I'm going to struggle to get these heat sinks off. I'll probably fight with it for the next 10 minutes. So that heatsink there is done. This is the one that you end up struggling with. Okay, so I'm going to heat it up. There we go. That's got it. So let's just try and clean this up while we've got chance. Just while it's still fairly warm. I'll start with the heatsink because that's still pretty warm. This pink stuff that they used is absolutely horrible. Alright, so I'm going to fight with this for a few minutes just to get it off. Alright, I think that's probably clean enough. I've cleaned off the heatsink and I've also cleaned off the GPU as well. I'm just going to get rid of the gunk from around the CPU now. I'm going to be very careful here. I want to end up scratching the GPU, the CPU substrate. And I certainly don't want to chip the die. It's actually not so bad on the CPU though. It's usually fairly easy. Yeah, a little bit of heat, cotton swab, and then a microfiber cloth. Normally does the trick. There we go. Beautiful. Alright, so now I just need to get it off this bit here. Alrighty, there we go. So that's all done. So the heatsink and everything's been cleaned and ready to repaste once we finish. Apart from that tiny bit there we go. So that's all clean, all ready to be repasted when I finish the repair. Well, repair / mod. And yeah, we are good to go. So what we can do now is have a look under the microscope and just see what capacitors need replacing and what don't need replacing. So let's start off over here then. So this cap here looks absolutely fine. I don't see any signs of leaking. CPU is all good. It didn't damage that or anything. Same with the GPU. This cap here and these ones are fine. These ones are fine. Fine. Okay, so the leaking starting with this one here. And as you can see, we've got some damage around here where the caps have been leaking. So, yeah, we're going to have to sort all of that out. But we've got this cap here. That needs replacing. That one needs replacing. That one, I think is okay, but probably end up replacing it anyway. And then we've got 3 caps here which need replacing. Yeah, so there's a bunch of work that needs to be done to this to actually get it working. So, yeah, there's a lot of cleanup to do as well. So that one's popped. Clock capacitor's leaked. And then a bunch of others as well. Alright, cool. I'm going to start off, first of all, by just removing this capacitor just here. So, yeah, like I said, this is the clock capacitor, and it's really well known for leaking. And basically, we can just remove it. So, we can just take that completely off and not have to worry about it. The only thing that'll do is it will obviously cause the console to reset the time every time it reboots. But it's doing that anyway, so we may as well just get rid of it. And it's not going to hurt the system at all. So I'm just going to add some leaded solder. There we go. I'm just going to wiggle from underneath. Just wiggle it backwards and forwards until it comes out. You can just break it away, but you may as well remove it cleanly if you're able to. There we go, so that's just popped out. And as you'll see, we've got a bunch of corrosion under there. So get rid of that. And then I'm just going to wick away this solder. And it looks like it has actually eaten the trace away. So, yeah, might have to do a little bit of trace repair. Let's try that again. I'll try it from the other side in a second. I'm just going to clean up this area with a bit of isopropyl alcohol and a brush. Okay, the traces look fine on this side, but unfortunately that cannot be said for the other side. So yeah, that is, I mean, it's bad, but it's not the worst I've seen. So I'm just going to clean up. Just use a bit of IPA around here. Okay, let's just dry this off, and now we can see the true extent of the damage here. So yeah, as you can see just here, if I just get that in focus there, you can see that we've got some very damaged traces here. around this clock cap. And it has actually eaten away at the board a little bit. Yeah, so we've got a really loose transistor here. So you can see that there, that's not connected at all. These are probably not connected. Yeah, it's going to need a little bit of work, this is, unfortunately. So we'll bust out the Flux Buster 3000, also known as Flux. I'm just going to add a bunch of flux all around here. So I think we've caught this just in time before it's done major irreparable damage. I'm surprised this booted at all. A random hair on my flux tube here. Never mind, that's fine. Alright, so I'm going to get some leaded solder on these joints. So I'm just freshening up all of these joints. I'm just going to try and prevent any further damage going forward. Because if we leave that corrosion there, it is going to eat away at the board. And over time, this console will just completely die. A little tip if you're retinning SMD components like this, allow it time to cool down before you hit the other side of it. So if I was to hit both sides of this, you know, really quickly, chances are it's going to desolder from the board, and then you're going to have to try and flow it back on using hot air. And I don't really want to use hot air in this area. And yeah, I knew that one was going to happen. That was pretty obvious. So this was the loose one here. Yeah, those traces are gone. Alright, so that's going to require a little bit of trace repair there. That one's actually looks like it's completely damaged. Problem is I don't have any spares. I mean, I can take one from a donor board. Just going to spin this round so it's easier to access. Yeah, same with that one there. Okay, I think we're good to go there. I'm going to have to find out what the other capacitors are and get them all replaced, I think. I don't have the rest of them, that's the problem. So I'm just doing the ones that need taking care of immediately. Alright, there we go. Okay, I think we're done for now. So, I think because this video's got on a little bit too long, I think I've worked on, well, there was more work that needed doing on this than I originally anticipated. So I think what I'll do is I'll probably make 2 parts to this. And I'll do the modding in a separate video. I'll still do it today, but I'll probably end up doing a separate video for it just because of the video going on for too long. So for now, this is probably just going to be a recap video. So just to summarise really quickly, I've removed all of the capacitors which are obviously faulty, you know, the obviously leaking capacitors, and I've replaced them, apart from the clock capacitor because that doesn't need replacing and they are known to leak. So yeah, what I'll probably do is I'll probably get the values for all of the capacitors and replace all of them, you know, in a future video or something, and give it a full recap. If I can find tantalum capacitors, sorry, ceramic capacitors, not tantalums. If I can find ceramic capacitors to replace some of these, then ideally I'd like to do that. I don't know if that's possible or not. Oh, and what I've also done here is obviously repasted it as well, so it's got fresh thermal paste on the CPU and GPU. Right, okay, so let's just see. Let's see if it ends up starting on its own. Well, more to the point, we've got to see if it boots now, haven't we? Just need to make sure it actually turns on. Okay, so this is loosely back together here. As soon as I put this hard drive cable back in, there we are. So that's loosely back together. Oh, it's fragging. Okay, so now we've got a red ring again. Or rather, now we've got a red ring. Okay, the power button works now. Cool. Yeah, now the power button works and it is booting up. It did frag for a second. I'm not sure why, but it is working. And let's see if it shuts down on its own. Yes, it does. So now it's all working. And this console is pretty much fixed. So yeah, I think I'm going to leave it there for this video. This console's working now, the front panel's working, which means that the issues were caused by the leaky capacitors. So yeah, I think I'll leave it there for this video, and in part 2 I will mod the system. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to be upgrading the RAM to 128 megabytes. I'm also going to be getting rid of the DVD drive and installing a mod chip into it. And I'm also going to be upgrading the hard drive to a 2 terabyte as well, because obviously if we're going to be running games off the disk drive, then we want to be able to obviously you know, fit them all on there. And also what I'm going to do as well is replace this front panel and put a LCD screen into it as well, because, well, they just look cool, right? So yeah, thank you very much for watching. I really appreciate it. Let me know what you think down in the comments down below. I know I didn't do everything what I said I was going to do on this video, but at least we've got the console working and it's, you know, it's in a condition where it can be used now, right? The clock capacitor, that's not needed because, well, the leak, and all that does is just resets the clock when you turn the console off and unplug the power. So yes, I could put a CR2032 mod on it, you know, a clock battery mod, but it's not really worth it. No one ever does that. It's not. There's no point to it. So yeah, let me know what you think down in the comments down below. Thank you very much for watching. If you are new to the channel, don't forget to subscribe and turn on the bell notifications that we don't miss any future videos. If you do want to organise a repair, you can get in touch with me at www.thecody.repair, and if you need parts and supplies, you can get those on my online store, consolefix.shop. So with that being said, thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you all in the next video. Bye now.